This is a story of how a calm little line on paper fooled the smartest people in the room, and why, if we're honest, a piece of us wanted it to. For years, a single curve crept upward, polite and predictable like a heartbeat on sedatives. It didn't lurch, it didn't panic, it didn't sweat. And let me be straight with you. If your portfolio never wobbles, either you've found a miracle or you've found a very friendly printer. Bernie Madoff understood that the most addictive promise in finance isn't get rich quick, it's don't lose. He wore the right suit, shook the right hands, carried a resume that whispers he's safe. Former NASDAQ chairman, the kind of name that opens doors before numbers get questioned. He wrapped his pitch in grown-up jargon. Split strike conversion, blue chips with an options collar. It sounded like a seatbelt you could buy for your money, reassuring on paper. And this, to me, is the first sleight of hand. Complexity that calms you, instead of clarity that challenges you. The theater ran on paper, no live portal, no third-party logins to check at midnight, just monthly statements with letterheads and tidy decimals. Down months for everyone else somehow arrived as steady for you. The documents breathed, barely, just enough motion to look alive, never enough to scare you, and the ecosystem helped. Elegant feeder funds brought clients wearing their own reputation like armor. People didn't vet Madoff. They vetted the logo that introduced him. Borrowed credibility, the cheapest way to buy trust. And he bought plenty. Quick personal rule, then I'll own this opinion. The more stamps and seals on a page, the more I wonder if I'm looking at decorations instead of data. Real data doesn't need a parade. You should be able to call a prime broker, pull a custodial statement, and match positions line by line without anyone preparing them for you. If who holds the assets, who reports the returns, and who audits the books all point to the same circle, that's not control. That's a barbecue. The hook was modest on purpose, 8 to 12% year after year. A gentle metronome that never missed a beat. Big numbers would scare the cautious. This was a lullaby. Sleep. Don't ask. And most people didn't, not because they were foolish, but because they were human. After a bruising market, a smooth line feels like truth. We confuse calm with safety, jargon with competence, exclusivity with due diligence. A velvet rope is not a risk model, it's a mood. Behind the curtain, the mechanics were boring and brutal. New money in, returns out. The market didn't fund the miracle, cash flow did. Month end became performance night. Hit print, staple the dream, smile the confident smile of a pro who has seen it all. If you're hearing cynicism, it's because confidence gets manufactured long before cash does. And we buy it because it feels good to stop clenching. Frauds like this don't collapse from guilt, they collapse from math. One ugly season, more money out than in. Then the sentence that ends the show, send me the trade confirmations, not glossy summaries, the raw third-party records from a custodian or prime broker, timestamps, execution venues, clearing numbers. If you can't produce those, the room gets very quiet very fast. December 2008, silence becoming a knock at the door, then handcuffs. June 2009, a sentence designed not to be served but to be understood, 150 years. In 2021, Madoff died in prison. Headlines: love the astronomical paper total. About $64.8 billion in fake profits, but the real cash loss sits near $18 billion. Paper versus cash. That's the contrast that matters. I wish someone had shouted it louder earlier. Let's not pretend the victims were just numbers. A woman who finally let herself imagine a soft retirement, a foundation mapping treatments for kids, a university endowment planning 10 years of scholarships. Fraud doesn't just steal money, it steals tomorrow's people we're counting on. And if you want my opinion, because I'm here with you, not hiding behind a faceless VO, this is the part we gloss over when we talk about red flags and due diligence. The human cost is the only line that never smooths out. After the implosion came the unglamorous grind, clawbacks, settlements, years of forensic accounting that could make anyone's eyes cross. To be fair, a lot of money was chased down and dragged back. Many direct victims recovered large portions of principal. Nope, it doesn't make them whole, but it reminds us a system can fail to prevent and still work to repair. Would it be better if the repair arrived before the damage? Of course. When the spreadsheet still smells like fresh toner, but we live in the world we have, not the one we wish we'd audited. Strip away the magic words and the trick reads simply: split strike conversion can be sensible, in theory. In practice, it does not create a rule or straight monthly line. A tiny, cozy auditor attached to a giant operation isn't thrift, it's insulation. Everything handled in-house isn't efficiency, it's a black box. If the manager, the custodian, and the auditor look like they share a group chat, you don't have oversight. You have a cookout. So, how do you protect yourself without becoming a full-time detective? Build a boring checklist and respect it when your emotions beg you not to. Independent custodian, you can call yourself. Reputable prime broker whose statements you see directly, not polished summaries. Auditor big enough to fear losing its license. Digital access to positions that update without human massage, and returns that admit they're human. If the market shudders and your line never does, you're either holding a miracle or reading fiction. Miracles are rare. Fiction is cheap. There's a moment I can't stop picturing: the printer's last page sliding out and stopping. No more paper to hide behind, just air. That's when stories end and consequences begin. Because this channel isn't here to sensationalize. It's here to help you dodge landmines. Let me say the quiet part out loud. Certainty is the most expensive product on earth. You will pay for it with trust, with silence, with the benefit of the doubt, and the people selling it will look exactly like a safe place to stand. That's the trick. It works until someone asks for receipts. If you take nothing else from the Madoff story, take this. Nobody wins every month. Not your friend's genius manager. Not the legend with the flawless brochure. Not the avatar on a form with back-tested perfection. When risk isn't visible, you are the risk. You're the one being asked to close your eyes and sign. Ask the dumb questions. Dumb questions save people. Who holds the assets? Who clears the trades? Who checks the checker? And if the only answer you get is a better sounding story, do the bravest, least dramatic thing in finance, say, no thanks, and walk. Bernie Madoff didn't sell a system. He sold calm. The next time someone offers you that same perfect line, remember where perfect lines actually live. In pitch decks, not in markets. And if anyone promises otherwise, well, either they found God, or they found that printer.